going on? Welcome back to the match review. So it finished at St James's Park, Newcastle 3, Southampton 0, and that puts us 5 points clear of the relegation zone. You know, we beat a really poor Southampton team. They don't really concede a lot of goals, but they don't score enough goals either. And, this game was down as a must-win game, and I couldn't have stressed that enough, going into this game. It was a game that, if we didn't get anything from, it would have been an absolute disaster, because Newcastle at this time were 2 points worse off near the relegation zone. If we didn't get a result, then we could have been in that relegation zone, come the weekend. But results went for us, and we got a really good, convincing 3-0 win. And let's look at the teams. So Rafa Benitez played pretty much his best team that you could pick going into this one. So as you can see on the screen, he went with Dwight Gale, Ayoze Perez, and Kenedy. He's got Kenedy playing as like a left, forward if you like. He's more left back, but Rafa prefers him to play up front. In the midfield, he went with Mo Diarmi, John Joe Shelby, and Matt Richie. At the back, he went with Paul Dummett and Yedlin. Lascelles and Lejeune pretty much picks itself. The back four that's on form at the moment, and then goal Dubravka. Now, it was important that Newcastle got another front foot. It was important that we dictated play, that we didn't give Southampton any room to play with. And, Newcastle couldn't have got off to a better start. It was a fantastic goal that we scored after the first minute, through Kenedy. So John Joe Shelby managed to pick up the ball. He pretty much floated the ball over the top to Kenedy, who was making a great run. He had that sort of know-how when the ball went over the top to somehow flicker past the centre-back, who for me should do better. And he managed to divert it past McCarthy, and it's 1-0 Newcastle. The fans are buzzing. I'm buzzing at the time. Check out the matchday experience for that. But, I wasn't expecting Newcastle to score, after the first minute. And then that's pretty much what happened after that. Southampton just didn't look interested, and you think to yourself, if Southampton are going 1-0 down and they've come that far from home, they've got to try and get back into the game. And if we concede first, we'll kind of drop off tempo. And I thought it was going to be a bit like that, because the minute Newcastle scored, nothing was really happening as such. The ball was pretty much in the middle of the pitch. Both teams were losing the ball. Southampton worse off than ourselves, and it was quite a cagey game up until the 25th minute, when we had that opportunity through Perez when he passed the ball to Dwight Gale, and he missed. And you think to yourself, oh, is it going to be our day? We'll just miss an opportunity. But 3 minutes later, again, Perez picks up the ball, he runs, he passes it to Dwight Gale, and Dwight Gale, man, what a ball that was, across to Kenedy. He calmly slots it in, and it's 2-0 to Newcastle. And you think to yourself, right lads, let's just try and build on it. Let's just not, sit back and allow Southampton back into the game. And throughout that first half, we were comfortable. We were creating a few opportunities. Southampton, none at all. Absolutely shocking. And I don't know what was going on with their team, because when you looked at the starting lineup for Southampton, their better players were actually on the bench. They weren't actually starting. Now, Shane Long, decent player for them. Buffal, decent player. Gabbiadini, decent player. And, we were causing them an absolute nightmare. And it was important that, again, we got the goals that we did. And then, half-time, 2-0 Newcastle. And I was talking about in the interval that it's important that we get that third goal in the second half. And we did that, after 57 minutes through Matt Richie. Newcastle again. Southampton called ball watching. They were asleep. John Joe Shelby just broke, and you could see Matt Richie, he was asking for the ball. He was like, pass it to me, pass it to me, pass it to me. And Shelby calmly, passed the ball to Matt Richie, and he just slotted it past the goalkeeper into his bottom left-hand corner. For me, McCarthy's got to do better for that. He's got to dive. He's got to be powering that away for a corner. But who cares? We're 3-0 up, and we're cruising at this point. And, before that, we'd actually hit the crossbar before we actually got that third goal. And Southampton, for me, they were shocking. Hoyvier, the whole back four, it's all questionable. And, once Newcastle got a third goal, we could kind of just ease off a little bit. We didn't really have to, go all out at them. And then, Southampton, yes, they were trying to cause a few problems towards the end, but it wasn't really enough to cause us any real concerns at the back. And, let's look at the Premier League table now after that 3-0 win. Obviously, there's a game tonight, or it's already passed when you watch this tomorrow, Stoke against Man City. And, we're currently on 32 points. Now, we've made ourselves, a lot better now than what we were 3 days ago. And 32 points, 5 points clear of the relegation zone. Nothing's over just yet, just because we've won. That doesn't mean that we can just sit back and relax. No, we've got a couple of games coming up that are winnable. You've got Huddersfield, that's the one that we'll look at in 3 weeks' time. And a team that, come up with us, they're not really on the best run of form at the moment. And if we can beat Huddersfield, and we can back it up with another result after that, then who knows. But at the moment, 32 points, it's looking good. But we've just got to stay consistent. And for my man of the match, I have to give it to Kenedy. Not for the fact he scored the 2 goals, but for how hard he worked throughout the whole game. He could have got a hat-trick, in that game. And Southampton, for me, were defensively poor. If there's any Southampton fans watching this review, I would be very concerned for your season. Obviously, you haven't sacked your manager just yet, but I think if you want to stay up this season, I think you need to sack him. You need to do something, otherwise you're going down. And, you're getting found out a little bit now. You can't just keep, cashing in on your best players and getting in crap in return, and that's what's happened. And you're in the same predicament as what Newcastle were 2 years ago. And, I feel that if you do change now, I think you could do better than us in terms of the squad that you've got. You've got a bit of English talent in there, a bit of know-how. And, looking at us, it was a brilliant win. You couldn't go wrong with that. And if you want to check out the matchday experience, I'll leave a link down below in the description. If you also want to check out other videos, leave quick thoughts. The Rafa Benitez's 2-year anniversary at Newcastle, it's all there in the description. And if you're new around here, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Tell me your thoughts about the game. Who was your man of the match? Were you happy with Rafa Benitez's, his team, his formation, his substitutions, all that stuff as well? And I hope you all have a good week. No game now for 3 weeks. I'll try and get some content out in the next day or two. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. See you all later. Peace.